On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks proved they need guards. They need guards so badly. I can't even tell you because he can't do it all.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
Zone 5. I think that's a good question.
Good morning, Isaac. All these changes, I still got my dog Dwight Powell.
You are Locked On Mavs, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel giving you a new way to turn that energy into a bigger profit boost. With college basketball parlay profit boost, head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. Play your game. Joining me, as always, the postgame prodigies from the Great Slightly Biased YouTube channel. What'd you see from the Dallas Mavericks tonight, Slightly Biased?
I saw them get sacrificed by the NBA to ancient basketball deities at Jason Tatum's return game on national television.
Oh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. We'll talk about the fourth quarter, that collapse, and what it means for the Mavericks. We'll talk about Klay Thompson. I thought had another good game where he was just launching some threes that was fun to watch. We'll talk about Max Christie. We'll talk about Moussa Cissé had a couple of moments. Talk about all those things. But let's start here, Slightly Biased. Cooper Flagg plays in this game and gave me a scare. Just gave me one of those scares that I don't want to have anymore. We've done it too many times. The Mavs have lost too many players to these types of situations where Cooper Flagg plays in the second night of a back-to-back after missing 8 games with a foot injury. And we were a little worried. We were like, all right, well, is he going to play in the second night of a back-to-back? Is he not going to play? He ends up playing. He's absolutely going to play. This game meant too much to him. It was too special to him to play in Boston in the TD Garden. He said the only arena that I ever went to growing up was TD Garden. He idolized Jason Tatum growing up, which is hilarious to say. But he was going to play in this game. He had too many family members there in that suite there in TD Garden. And we absolutely expected Cooper Flagg to play in this game, like he just said. But then he gets hurt at 8:34 with like 3 minutes into the game. He goes down holding his foot, and we're all like, I'm holding my breath as he limps to the bench. The Mavs call a timeout, but then he stays in the game, hits 2 free throws, plays the rest of the game basically, plays 30 minutes, plays more than his minute restriction was yesterday in the first night of a back-to-back. He plays longer the second night of a back-to-back. I don't know what that means, but Cooper Flagg ends up playing the rest of this game. And he just can't do it all. Like, he was doing a lot in this game. It's admirable how much he was trying to do. And I think it was awesome how much the team looks like they kind of like fall in line role-wise when Cooper Flagg plays. It's like, all right, you have the one guy, you have the big dog. Now everybody else falls in line. Now Chris Middleton isn't like your number one option sometimes. Now Max Christie can be flying around, getting threes off to the side. You have PJ Washington. He's like, I'm just going to clean up anything that I can get to. And so everything kind of made sense around him. But just nobody could carry the slack. Like, nobody else could carry the slack. And I mean, he was a minus 17. So it's not like when he was in, the Mavs were world killers. But in the fourth quarter, they just ran out of options is what really happened.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to talk about the game, we have to be fair. I don't think you can just throw guys under the bus. Like, Coop, when he was on the floor, had the ball all the time and just was not good tonight. Missed shots. Struggled getting to his spots, struggled beating guys off the dribble. I mean, that's just the truth, right? Like, if we're going to sit here, it's not fair to be like, well, PJ didn't do and couldn't pick up for Coop. It's just like, yeah, Coop wasn't very good in the game, which is completely and totally fine. I'd have to imagine if this were like a back-to-back and they played, the Grizzlies tonight, I doubt Coop plays.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So I just think this was being in Boston and in front of all of his family and stuff like that. Clearly they wanted him to play. He wanted to play. I think it's clear and obvious, especially whenever you look at some of these like closeouts he had on Peyton Pritchard, where he gets out and kind of breaks down and is just not capable of moving his feet after that. Like, he stops and you don't really see the recovery that he's more than. We've seen it a million times this year. That some of his most impressive defensive plays is when he recovers and blocks a shot. We saw it some last night too.
Same. 4 blocks last night.
Literally in last night's game. And he had a couple closeouts in tonight's game that to me looked like a player who was kind of struggling physically.
Did they have the game on at the softball game last night?
I saw some of the highlights. I saw some of the blocks. Yeah.
Like, hold on. We did the show. Did you have any highlights last night?
Yeah, I hit a bomb.
Let's go. Proud of you.
Just another day at the office,
That's
man.
correct.
Speaking of bombs, I'm watching the Dominican team right now. This is the most electric thing in sports currently, guys. Seriously.
The World Baseball Classic?
The Dominicans hit a home run and they stare at it for 15 seconds. It takes them a minute to get around. It is incredible. I love it. They got a jacket they're putting on.
A dinger jacket.
Yeah, a home run jacket. This is what sports is all about right here.
That's right. That is what sports is all about. It's not about fourth quarter collapses, which is what absolutely happened to the Mavericks in this game.
Well, that is also what sports are about. But
this game just highlighted to me. It's like, yeah, first of all, yeah, Cooper Flagg, 7 of 23, 30% from the field. A bunch of his, bunnies and stuff weren't going down. He missed all 4 of his threes. Only got to the free throw line 2 times. And this is a thing. We have not done this often this season. We have done it definitely in past season with past versions of this team. The referee whistle on this one was wild to me. I did not understand why Naji Marshall and Flagg were not getting certain calls at the rim, and then Jaylen Brown was getting calls on the other side. I don't think there's a world. I'm going to do the thing. Who was the coach the other day that made a big stink about the Mavs getting free throws?
Wasn't that?
But it was.
I don't even remember.
It was Charles Lee with the Hornets after they destroyed the Mavericks, and he's like, "Oh, they got 40 something free throws." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the only thing they can do is be a battering ram right to the rim." The Celtics took 48 threes. They should not have more free throws than what the Mavericks took in this game. But I digress. Flagg, he should have gotten to the line more. He was getting frustrated with it, and I think the Mavs were getting frustrated with it, and they just didn't have another way to compensate. They hit 40% of their threes and took 35, which is more than that's like a normal NBA team. Like, you're finally being a normal NBA team when Flagg can create some of these opportunities, but they just didn't have another way. And I think any one competent guard that could handle the ball, get his own shot, that changes dramatically in this game. And maybe they stay a little more connected. They weren't going to beat the Celtics. The Celtics team is good even without Tatum. They had the energy of Tatum's return for the first time this season behind them in this one. Like, I didn't expect them to win, but the fact that they kept it tight all the way through the fourth quarter, it was even a 7-point game, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then the Celtics just broke it open because the Mavs offense cratered. They had 10 points through the first 7 minutes. It was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been the reoccurring trend all season long, and at least Coop's back now, where it's like, okay, if we're going to go down, we might as well go down with the ball in the hands of our 19-year-old rookie and just see what happens. So, yeah, I mean, that is priority number one. Is getting, obviously Kyrie coming back will help out so much next year, but priority number one beyond that is just building out this guard room a little bit. And it's one thing I'll kind of go back to. It seems like a stupid thing to sort of harp on or even really care about, but tonight's game I thought sort of highlighted this. Is something that we talked about. Like, Moussa Cissé to me is a legitimately good NBA player. Like, the potential is there for him to be like a legitimate rotational big. I still kind of question the decision making, and again, this is so stupid to harp on, but Nembhard's getting garbage time, end of game minutes, and I'm watching a game where Moussa Cissé is like the only positive player on the Mavericks for the entire time.
Well, so what would you have rather done, or are you just saying across the board this is brutal that this roster is the way that it is?
No, honestly, we kind of talked about after it happened, was like, should Moussa have been the one whose contract got converted?
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. I thought it should have been Moussa instead of Nembhard. Like, Nembhard, you're giving him a chance, and maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe they're like, hey, if we're gonna give one of these guys a chance, like, we have we know a little bit more about what Moose can be in this rotation, but we don't know Nembhard yet. Like, let's give him a little more of a chance, which they didn't tonight. He only played garbage time, but let's give him a chance the rest of the season. See if it works out. They can cut ties with him this offseason, and then Moussa's a restricted free agent with his 2-way, and you just sign him then.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Like, I think I would have rather seen games like this where Moussa's playing, because, man, like, we'll talk about him. I guess we'll talk about him now. 6 points, 7 boards, 3 blocks, and he just erases some of these. Just this volleyball spikes.
He's got some of the most violent blocks in the NBA.
I mean, just this one in the first quarter and he came in. I thought he came in pretty early in this game, but he just erased this Peyton Pritchard layup where he volleyball spiked it, and you almost want to go up to him and tell him, hey man, like, when your head is above the ball when you block it, like, just grab it in midair instead of just like swatting it down and letting the other team get it. But man, yeah, he was awesome. He was really good, I thought, and just he was a +10 in his minutes, positive. Some of that is that fourth quarter like fake comeback, but 25 minutes, and he's mobile, and that's the thing about him is he could roam around. He can obviously fly. And he's got to work on some of the pick and roll rhythm with some of these guys. But if the Mavs get a guard that he can run pick and roll with and work on some of that, like, I think he can be a real positive player for the Mavericks in a game where they didn't have, obviously Lively's been out the whole season, but didn't have Gafford, didn't have Bagley. Dwight played He started, we played 15 minutes. It's like the classic 2022 Dwight playoff run minutes in a game like this. But he was the number one center for the Mavs.
Yeah, and do I have time to vamp really about Moussa, or do we have to throw it a break?
Coming up, Moussa made an impact in this game. Other role players and bench players made a big impact in this game. We'll tell you how Klay and Moose made a big impact. We'll talk about that coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of things that you can use to get into the action, including college basketball. It's nonstop, big games, tight spreads. I don't know if college basketball is nonstop, FanDuel. The excitement maybe is nonstop, but college basketball stops a lot. There's all kinds of great things. Always action on the board that you can go check out, and you can do anything and check out all kinds of different odds with FanDuel. FanDuel is giving away, turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with the college basketball parlay profit boost. Go check it out and see what you got available to you. There's all kinds of different things. You can check out, they got I just opened it to the NFL just randomly, and Isaac's Baltimore Ravens plus 440 to win the AFC. They just got Max Crosby, so that's kind of a fun one you can go check out. But go check out the college basketball stuff as well. All kinds of different things. You can mix spreads, totals, player props, match to see the state. You can see whatever state you're playing in. You can do all kinds of different things like that. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game.
Shut it down! Oh, no! Let's go home!
All right, Slightly, we're talking about the Mavs. Lost to the Boston Celtics. They move within a game and a half of the Pelicans. The Pelicans are playing the Suns as we're recording this right now. And so big Pelican fan tonight. They're only down 6 right now at the half. So big Pelican fan for the tank lottery standings. But we were talking about Moussa Cissé before and his impact. He can volleyball spike the ball, 3 blocks in 25 minutes. He just makes an impact in that way. I think he fights for boards, and we see him be more effective on the boards than Gafford, even though Gafford did well last night. Than some of the other Mavs centers, but Moussa Cissé, I think he deserves a contract next year, and we got some conversations to have this offseason about Lively, Gafford, Bagley, Moussa, Dwight. Like, where's the Mavs center rotation going? They could get one at the end of the draft. I mean, there's a lot of different options for the Mavs.
Yeah, Moussa's one of these guys that, the high energy big, can rebound well, block shots. Smart teams are looking for guys like this, right? Like, that's what smart teams are looking for. So I do hope he's here next year. Now, obviously, if you don't, if you still have the same exact center rotation, because Dereck Lively will play more games than he did this year. I'm here to almost 99% sure, because I will leave 1% with Dereck Lively, unfortunately.
I was gonna say, to the basketball gods' ears, please.
Yeah, like I'll leave 1% chance with D-Live. He will be playing more next year than he played this season. Okay,
you take that bet right now. He played more than 7 games.
Yeah, I would. And it makes me sad that I'm even like, well, when I put my life on it, I don't know. I don't know if I would put my life on it. But would I bet my car? Yeah, maybe. No, but like some of Moussa's numbers, he rebounds incredibly well. Obviously his rim protection stuff, he fouls a bunch. Like, that's the thing with a lot of guys of this skill set. But he fouls a bunch, but opponents shoot 7.5 percentage points worse at the rim whenever he's contesting. He contests a ton of shots at the rim. These are all things that are really encouraging, and I like him. I've gassed him up on here before. I don't project him to be like a Keita, right? Like, Keita is sort of a revelation.
Keita wasn't Keita until this year. I mean,
right? Yeah,
Kings gave up on him.
True. I mean, who's to say, really? But I think he's a rotational big in the NBA, Moussa Cissé. So we'll see what happens with him, because if the Mavs, for whatever reason, let him go, a smart team is scooping him up, I would say.
Well, it's the tools in a center like that. If you can take those kind of tools and teach that center how to work in your system and how to work with your guys, it can work. Because you look at Neemias Queta. Is it Neemias Queta? Like, I don't know how to.
I would say Neemias, but I'm assuming I'm wrong.
It's Neemias, and on Basketball Reference it says Neemias. So I don't know where you're getting that. He's from Portugal. So Neemias.
I call him Queta.
Anyway, Keita played 2 years in Sacramento. He was the 39th pick, so he was a second-round pick. Played 3 years there. He only played 20 games total for the Kings. Then he goes to the Celtics. He was on the team in 2024 when they won the title. He played 3 games in that playoff run. But he's not playing at all. And then last year, played 62 games in the regular season, so definitely more, playing like 14 minutes a game. So he's going around a little. And then this year, he's thrust into this spot where they lose Porzingis, or they get rid of Porzingis, they lose Al Horford, lose Luke Cornett, and you're like, all right, we got nobody. We got no options. And then now all of a sudden, he's filled into this role, and he's been in the team now 3 years where he's figured out how to play with these guys. Something has worked out well. Shout out to Missoula, the rest of that staff for getting him ready for this year. But he's also 26, so he's 3 years ahead of where Moussa Cissé is right now too. And so that's something I think that we can look at and go, all right, well, if the Mavs can get something like that, I mean, we're not asking for a starting center like Keita, but if you can get a really good backup center from Moussa, I think that's something that you could look at and be like, all right, that's the strategy, is try to develop him like the Celtics did.
It is a little interesting. They're both listed at 6'10", both listed 6'10", both have 7'4" wingspans. Like their physical traits are kind of comparable. Now I'd have to sit down and look at what some of Keita's offensive stuff was, because Cisse still feels like very raw on that front, right?
Sure.
Like very raw. Where Keita's got a nice, pick and roll game, obviously, but he can get to that jump hook and stuff. Like that would be the next sort of phase for Cisse, would be developing something like that. That's always the next step for these bigs, is you have to have something to beat a smaller defender if you get a switch or something like that under the basket. So, yeah, I mean, Keita is going to turn into one of these guys that you look to, and you look at your big on your team. That's like your third or fourth guy, and your two-way big. You're like, could that be Keita down the line? Like, could we turn him into that?
And hoping it's not like a Draymond Green comparison where everybody gets compared to Draymond.
It never works out.
Never works out. But I think it could. And I think the path is there for a player like that. And we've seen some others here and there.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at Keita's like rookie year stuff, and he
barely played. He played
120 total minutes.
So he played 29 minutes his second season.
It says on here 20. Oh yeah, I guess so. So 2024, 300 minutes. Keita started to show some real offensive flashes there. That's
in his 300 minutes.
In his 333 minutes.
Well, he went from
he went 400 this year.
He went from the Kings to the Celtics, so he went from
a lot of that's probably garbage time.
Well, it's from a non-competent team to a competent one.
Yeah,
I mean that was an NBA champion team that year.
I also don't think we can sort of overlook the Celtics just being the Celtics.
Well, we keep comparing them to them in certain ways, and you're just like, there's just no way. Like no other team right now is doing what they're doing with like less talent.
I heard something, and I'm sure it's not a revelation or anything like that, but like it made me think, and I was like, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. That Brad Stevens, starting off as a relatively small college, Butler is not like,
well, they went to the final.
A blue blood. Right. He turned them into a really good college basketball program, but they're not a blue blood. He's not competing, and he did get some high-end prospects. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm not really a college basketball guy, but he's not
Calipari. He's not
He's not
Mike Krzyzewski,
recruiting as Duke or UNC. But so that him having to find diamonds in the rough to sort of build out his college basketball program has led to him being a good GM, because he has this experience of finding these guys that he knows he can develop into legitimate rotation pieces. And it made me think like,
He's like a sommelier that is not good at any reds, just all whites. Like just is incredible at finding a really good white.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, so I'm just like, yeah.
Sommelier is a wine taster, but I was just saying he's found these guys.
God, man.
Peyton Pritchard,
a little
Hauser,
posh, don't you think? This is a blue collar. This is a blue collar, working class podcast. You're talking about wine tasting.
I was just saying he's good at finding white dudes. That was
that
was the whole point of my joke on that one.
That was good. Okay, I got what you're saying now. Kate is not white, to be fair. But yeah, no,
fair.
I think I did wine tasting once in Portugal. And
what were we talking about now? We're coming.
Hey, Portugal. Portugal's a great place to visit because you can go there like a king.
Was Nemias Keita there?
No, he was not there. But
okay.
That's actually a great tie back. That's actually a great tie-in by me without even trying. Just a natural at it. But I did a wine tasting, and everyone there is like, "Oh yeah, I definitely taste." I'm sitting there like, every single one of these have tasted exactly the same to me.
It's like, this is grape juice with vinegar in it. Like I'm
like, yeah, this was as good as the last one. I thought was good.
Oh, if you think you're a sommelier with wine, get ready. I'm gonna tell you how to be a sommelier with 5 Hour Energy.
Oh. We're chugging 5 Hour energies.
Coming up, though, I do want to talk about Klay Thompson. I want to talk about Jason Tatum's return, what we thought about him, and the Celtics going forward. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, we were just talking about being a sommelier with wine, but you can be a sommelier with 5 Hour Energy because if you ever have like somebody that really knows wine, they start talking about all the different nodes and different tastes and things like that. Listen to some of these from 5 Hour Energy where they got the flavor draft. They got 18 different flavors. They got all kinds of things you can choose from. And strawberry watermelon, sweet, tart, candy-like flavor, the ultimate flavor duo. Some flavors are just made to go together, but if you just split it out, watermelon, cool, crisp, caffeinated, juicy watermelon stock, light, refreshing sweetness, subtle, clean fruit notes is what they say that it tastes like. So if you want to be a sommelier when it comes to 5 Hour Energy, you could do that because it gives you a shot of energy and a boost with 0 sugar. You're going to love that part. So go check out your favorite flavor of 5 Hour Energy. You can get them all over the place. You can get them like literally every 7-Eleven I've been to, every gas station. They all have a 5 Hour Energy shot. You can get them, or you can get them at 5hourenergy.com and see all the different flavors. So it's number 5hourenergy.com, or go to Amazon because every once in a while you just need a little shot. Also brought to you by Indeed. You got a job. It's sitting open. I know. You're a hiring manager. You've got a job sitting open. I have one sitting open right now. I need to fill this. Indeed sponsored jobs is going to help me and help you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for with the skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. You're targeting them. They're targeting you. You target them right back. Here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates, because that's the part that you really know. You get to see somebody in an interview. Go to Indeed.com/podcast right now. Support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. And listeners of this show, get this. We'll get a $75 sponsored job credit. That's $75 that you would have spent on this that you get for free. Indeed.com/podcast. Need to hire. This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Sally, let's talk about this Mavs game against the Celtics. Jason Tatum's return. 27 minutes. A little surprised. I thought maybe you were going to slow go it a little bit, but I guess he's been ramping up for, I don't know, 6 months. It feels like at this point. He's been ramping up since November. It feels
what
like
is like
we've seen him.
What's like the lowest minute restriction before you're like, what was even the point of playing?
Yeah, I feel like we've seen Mavs play like 15 minutes. They come back and you're like, all right, we're just going to real slow go it here. We'll play 15 minutes, maybe 10 for somebody, but I guess it depends on role. But Tatum's normally like a 36, 37 minute guy. So this was a restriction in some way, but he had 15 points, 12 boards, 7 assists, hit 3 threes. He had that putback early that got the crowd on their feet. That was, it was a cool play. It was cool to see him come back, and it was cool to see in this one. But man, it's this Celtics team. I'm so annoyed with them. I can't stand the PA announcer every time they hit a 3. I can't stand it. I still hear it rattling around in my head. Oh my god! I just can think back to it's like I am like that guy from Ratatouille who takes the bite of the ratatouille and all of a sudden he's transported back to a moment in when he was like a little kid eating it. I was like, I get transported back to being there, Game 5.
Yeah, but not good memories.
In the building, hearing that just rattling around in my head, all the Celtics fans around me and Celtics media for that matter, like cheering on their team as if they were like they had a stake in the team.
This is whenever you say stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I can never be actual media for a team because I'd be in my team in the finals, about to win the NBA finals. I'd be in the press box going crazy.
There's Celtics media at the Mavs, the one in Dallas, Game 3 and Game 4. Where they're just like actively yelling at the refs.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's sick. I love that. I admire that.
The old heads will tell me like, back in the like even early 2000s or like definitely the 90s and 80s, if you cheered in the press box, they'd kick you out.
Yeah, well, those are the old days, Gramps.
Bill Simmons ruined everything.
We're drinking beer now in the press box.
Oh my gosh! But anyway, he returned. I didn't have any more thoughts about him.
I thought he was pretty good, actually. I think 6 of 16, but I thought he impacted the game a lot. I mean, this team if they're not the favorites to win the East, we'd have to pull up whatever our sponsor is. Go look them up.
It's FanDuel.
FanDuel. Go look at the FanDuel odds. I don't even know the other ones. That's how locked in I am on FanDuel.
Celtics plus 750. They're tied with the Nuggets and the Spurs.
Oh, to win the finals.
Win the finals. Oh, you want to go Eastern Conference?
Eastern Conference, they're the just outright favorites.
Plus
230.
230. Yeah. It's Cavs plus 260. Knicks plus 430. Pistons plus 450. The number one team is plus 450. They have the fourth best odds.
Man, the East really does feel pretty wide open. But I wonder if it's one of these things where Tatum just kind of gets back into it, and then in June, we're like, why did we think this conference was open? Like, this team clearly kind of showed us.
It's never happened like this. Like, Bill Simmons has been racking his brain for a team that's added a player like this.
Yeah.
Like, he can't think of one. He's talked about Tatum in every episode that he's had.
I don't know if we talked about it on here, but I'm fully in. Joe Mazzulla, I think, should easily win Coach of the Year. They're such a tank. They're such a juggernaut. They play the way that they play, man, defensively, offensively, you know where you're getting every single night, and the contributions up and down the lineup they get from their bench guys, like, Luka Garza was incredible tonight.
Wild.
He was incredible tonight. And you get a guy like that. You get a guy, Vucevic. We didn't talk about that. Vucevic breaks his finger.
Yes.
In the middle of the game, we get an update 10 minutes later. Vucevic broke. And then we get an update 5 minutes later. Sean's like, Vucevic is having surgery. And mind you, it's the third quarter. Vucevic is having surgery tomorrow. It's like, they don't mess around in Boston, man. If that were the Mavericks, it would have been Vucevic comes back into the game. You're like, oh my, Vucevic doesn't look right. His finger's pointing a different direction. Then it's Vucevic day to day for 3 weeks. We don't get an update. Then he plays 10 minutes in a game, and then comes out and gets season-ending surgery.
Well, you know why that is?
Because they're not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
Well, Vooch had to go to the bench. He had for a second. He's
got to touch it. He's got to rub it and hold it.
It was a weird looking. Injury.
I didn't even it didn't even track with me. Like, all of a sudden, I saw the report from Shams. I was like, oh yeah, Vooch hasn't been in a long time. What happened to him? And then
it was like a post up on Cisse, and Cisse was like hand fighting with him, and that's how it happened.
So yeah, very very strange. I don't know how that happened, but. It was almost like Anthony Davis's injury, where he's like his hand injury, where he's just driving on a guy, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, how did you hurt your hand when you were?
Well, that one's a little bit more like, yeah.
Wild.
Who would be the Russell Westbrook of this team? To have the press conference.
They would yell at us.
I think there is one.
He was yelling at Matt George, our former Locked On Kings guy.
I don't know if we have one. PJ, maybe Naji.
I think it would be Klay in like a passive aggressive.
Right. It wouldn't be.
I mean, well, okay, it would be Kyrie.
It
would be Kyrie.
Yeah, and it would be in a different way. It
would in a different way than what Russ did, but it would be Kyrie, or it would be Klay in like a real passive aggressive way.
Yeah, I love that from Russ, where he's just like, "I'm so mad at what you guys are writing." Well, what are you mad about? You know what you said, and they're like, "You have 50 losses," and he's like, "Yeah, we're bad." He's like, you guys are. He's like, you're bottom 3 in offense and defense. He's like, so. It's easy for me to say this from afar, but I would be like, what? I think this franchise has been terrible for 20 years. What do you want us to say?
It's strange in those situations because there's such a cadence and there's such a back and forth of how those things go, because you do so many of them. Especially if you're those guys. I mean, those guys like James Ham, our Locked On Kings guy, has been covering the Kings for like 20 years, which better help therapy. Give him everything that he can possibly get. But he goes to every single one of these. He goes to practice, goes to the pregame, postgame. There's such a cadence back and forth where like 95% of them are so innocuous and just so normal, where you're getting normal answers and all that. And every once in a while, one just pops out of nowhere. If you're not real quick on your feet, you just get caught off guard. And
yeah,
Rick Carlisle will do this every once in a while, where he would be an ass to you, like right to your face. Where he did it to me a couple times, where he just like throws a question right back at your face. Like it was like the question that you asked him was insulting in a way, when he didn't even mean it that way. And if you just didn't, you got to respond real quick back to him, and you got to be able to know, like, all right, this has now gone from a group effort to this is a conversation between the two of us, and that's the way that they want it. And it's like, it's a very strange spot to be in. Matt decided to not really say anything and just like to just like take it, and it is what it is, but. Westbrook didn't ever say what he was mad at, honestly, and he probably never will, because he doesn't talk to those guys. He goes on his pressers, And then he's in the locker room like with his headphones on. It's like he never talks to him. So we're not gonna. And the access has been removed from all of us in so many different ways. Like I haven't been allowed in the locker room for like 5 years because of ever since post COVID they changed the rules.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, well, we have no access to these guys. We're all guessing on all these things unless you have some kind of in. And if you have an in, you become like a Shams. And there's only like 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
why
rant
I'm
over.
kind of pro.
Rant over.
That's kind of why I'm pro getting ready, because like you said, it is such a cadence that it's just so formulaic. What'd you see tonight? Yeah,
Well,
we got to adjust better. And then randomly there's a pop off and it's like, whoa.
Well, I stopped going to them because I didn't think that they gave me anything. Like once every 5 times that I would go, I'd get something interesting that I could even use on this show. And I'm like, well, I might as well just share what I'm thinking, what I'm seeing, and all that. And
Yeah.
the writers will do all that, and I get it. It's different, but
Very interesting.
he went off, man. He was mad at them for whatever reason.
I think it's just built up frustration, and clearly the worst team Russ has ever been on. And I kind of got what he was saying as the vet, where it's like, I'm sure some of the young guys are in there like, oh, this sucks, man. So
Dude, they're killing us every game. What did they expect from this team? And it's like,
right.
Because Westbrook had that line where he goes, "What, do you guys expect us to win the title this year? Like, you think we should win the title?" And they're all sitting there like, "Absolutely not."
Like, no, I hope not.
Not in any way.
Yeah, that's true. I just felt like it was more him trying to stick up for his team than it was like. You don't think so? That's how I interpret it. Versus like I hate.
He
you
definitely
guys.
said it that way. He said it that way. I don't think so. Because he's been like this. He's been like this in other spots. He was like this with the Lakers guys. He was like this in Houston. He was like that. I mean, he was not like this with the Wizards. He should go back to the Wizards. They loved him.
Lakers was just so toxic.
It is again for our guy Luka.
Yeah, it is.
All right, last thing I want to talk about. Luka and his. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. I thought you were about to be serious, bro. I was like, there is no way we're talking about this.
In your Slovenian sources, do you have any knowledge about the Luka relationship drama? Do we want to get into it?
Dude. Man, leave these two people alone, man.
We were far enough in the show that I could make that joke for you.
I saw a tweet that's like, Luka's now following Madeline Klein on
Oh my
on
God,
Instagram. It's like, yeah, so is everyone. So is every male.
Just leave. I mean, I couldn't literally care less.
Yeah.
Could not care less. Like, just who cares? Like, leave that. That to me that's a crossing the line. All that stuff. Like that one big account that got blocked today.
I saw
was
that. Yeah.
Like a big Luka stan account. It was like tweeting all about their relationship. And then it gets blocked. Like, you deserve that. Like, this is. Oh my gosh, that's brutal. We didn't talk about Klay. 19 points, 18 minutes, 5 of 11 from 3. He's launching these threes, man. I love it.
Yep.
They need it. He took 11 threes, and they needed every single one of them that he took.
I will never get mad at a Klay Thompson 3. I really won't.
And it's like he's not even looking at the rim. He's just like coming around a screen, and he came around like all 5 I think that he made. He's just coming around a screen, like turns the corner and like looks up at the rim and takes it. It's wild what he can do.
Top 5 shooter of all time.
No, he's about to pass Ray Allen for most in regular season. What do you think about the thing where, so last game he passed Ray Allen with most threes made in regular season and playoffs combined. And then they asked him about it, and he said, well, it hasn't happened in the regular season, and I want to give all respect to Ray Allen. And so, he was like, well, if I'm going to pass him, I want to pass him like in the regular season stat. And it's interesting in NBA that we only do like the regular season stat, like the all-time leading scorer is LeBron, but it's all regular season points. It doesn't count any of his playoff stat.
Is that how they do it in every sport?
Probably, but the NBA, I don't know. It just seems like you should get credit for playing. Like LeBron's played 2 extra seasons in the playoffs.
I mean, that's kind of how baseball is too, with the home runs.
True. But but they were counting it yesterday on the broadcast with the regular season and playoffs, and I was like, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could be talked into combining the two, but too late at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's already done. Actually, we could change this, you and me.
Yeah, we could start. Yeah, we'll just start throwing out stats. People are like, what? They're like, well, we're doing combined. We're the only people.
Actually, that Carmelo Anthony doesn't have. He's not top 20.
Yeah.
Wait, what? And any other thoughts on this game? Naji Marshall started off the game so great. I'm ready for the national I was ready for the national media like thoughts on Naji Marshall. Why didn't somebody go get this guy? But man, second half, he didn't really give him as much at all.
I'll just be real game to game. I don't know how much, unless there's like something in particular that sticks out. Like, hey, like Moussa Cissé got some serious minutes tonight. You know, okay, like, that's a good opportunity to talk about Moussa Cissé. Like, you know, we know who Naji is, and the Naji stuff is the Naji stuff. The Max stuff is the Max stuff. And it's still wild Chris Middleton's on this team.
Very weird.
It just does it. It just, whenever I see Chris Middleton, I'm like, oh yeah, he's here. Like he's.
You remember when Chris Middleton was better than Giannis?
Yep. Let's see, maybe you can tap back into that. I'm gonna turn into this guy where Mavs get a guy who's 38 years old, and I'm the guy on Twitter who's like, hey man, and post highlights from 2017. So yeah, man.
Like when they signed Kemba Walker, he had that
you can
one.
tap back into this at all, like just no concept of aging.
Chris Paul still out there.
Man, give him the ball, let him tap into this 2014 Ricky, your highlights.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. Check out Slightly Biased, great YouTube channel. We'll have more stuff on this feed, and LockedOnMavericks.supercast.com for the Everydayers Club ad-free episodes there. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs. Peace out. Boom.
Get well soon, Coop.